Good day, everyone. Now, today's class, we are going to look at mathematics question under logarithms. The question says we should find the value of y from the below. This is the question given to us. We are asked to find the value of y from this. Now, in order to solve this, we are going to apply what we call change of base in logarithm here. Now, to apply that, let me refer you back to this law. The first one, when you have log b base a, you can as well rewrite it to be 1 over. In that regard, this b will come to be the base, while this a will come up to be the power. Now, in this regard now, if you don't use it this way, you can also apply it this way. That is when you have log b base what a, you can as well have it to be log b base 10 over log b base what a. Now, we are making use of this. Now, if you look at it very well, here is the question. The first thing is to write solution. Now, from this now, if you look at this very well, this is in base 3. I want this also to be in base 3. So, we are going to apply the changing of base principle here to this place. In that regard, we are going to have right back this. We are going to have log y base what 3 is equal to, so we are applying change of base. We are going to apply change of base to this. So, and we are making use of this first one. So what we are going to do now, look at this very well. We have log b base what a, it changes to what 1 over log a base b. Now the same thing will applicable to here. If this 81 is to change to where this y is, and why this y is going to take position of where this 81 is, what we are going to do, we are going to have inverse of log 81 log y base what 81. Now with this, now we have applied this rule here to change this power here to base, and this base to what, to power. Now in order to do this, now what we are going to do now, we cross multiply. When we cross multiply here, it means this will multiply this. We are going to, before we cross multiply, let's apply a simple method here. We have this 1 over, this one will be log. Now remember that this 81 is the same thing as 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3, 9. 9 times 3, 27. 27 times 3, 81. That's going to give us, that means 3 raised to power what? 4. So we can replace this 81 with 3 raised to power 4. In that regard, we are going to have this to be 3 raised to power 4, then what? Y. I want you to note that, let me clean this. I want you to note that this y here is having a power of what? 1. Do you get the point? Remember here, there is no power on it, but you should know that it's having a power of what? 1. Because if a raised to power 1 is the same thing as a, that is y raised to power 1 is invisible what? 1, and it is equal to what? Y. Y raised to power 1 is what? Y. Meaning we assume that 1 is here now. So we take this power on this y and this power on this 3 back to this place. Then we are going to have this to be log 3 log y base what? 3 is equal to 1 over. Now this one here, the 1 here is what? 1. Then the 4 here, the power on this 3 on this base will be what? 4. Then we have left to be equal to, we have left this and this. So we are going to have this to be what? Log y base what? 3. As at this point now, we can now simplify. If we can now cross multiply rather. If we cross multiply here, cross multiply. If we cross multiply here, then we are going to have this to be equal to, if we cross multiply, it means this will multiply this. This is what it means. This will multiply this. Then we are going to have 1 over 4 log y over 3. This multiplying log y, this one, log y base 3, which is equal to 1 times 1. That's going to give us 1. 1 times 1. Now this is the same thing as when this and this multiply each other. You are going to have 1 over 4, then into bracket log y base 3 or close bracket what raised to the power of 2. This is the same thing as saying a times a, and that's going to give us what? A what square. That is, this times this is going to give us log y base 3 times log y base 3 is going to give us into bracket log y base 3 into bracket raised to power what 2, and that's going to equal to what? 1. Now at this point, now let's continue with our solution. Now at this point, now we have, look at what we have here. This is the same thing as saying 1/4. If we use this times into bracket log y base what 3 raised to power 2 is equal to what? 1. Now as at this point, now if this multiply this, we are going to have this log y base 3 raised to power 2. If it multiply this one, then you are going to have log y base 3 into raised to power 2 over what? Over 4 is equal to 1. As at this point we cross multiply, then we are going to have this to be equal to this times this and this times this. 1 times this is going to give us log y base 3 raised to power 2 is equal to this times this is going to give us what? 4. So at this point, now at this point we are going to have this, so this will turn to root on this one, or we can simply say multiply both the power in both sides by what? Half. Or you can simply say this changing to this becoming the root on what? On this. In that regard, we are going to have log y base 3 to be equal to, if this turn to root on this one, then we are going to have root 4. Remember, this will become plus or minus. As at this point, now as at this point we are going to have this to be equal to plus or minus 2. So at this point, now we split it to be equal to log y base 3 is equal to plus 2 or log y base 3 equal to minus 2. So if this, when we apply the rule, this will come and carry this, then we are going to have left y is equal to 3 raised to power 2, or the same thing applicable to this. We are going to have y, this y will come down, then we are going to have 3 raised to power minus 2. Then at this point you have your y to be equal to 3 raised to power 2, that's what? 9. Or this will give you, this is the same thing as this minus will turn to 1/3 raised to power 2, then you are going to have 1/9 as your final answer. The answer for y is what? 9.